So welcome everyone to our beautiful Heart Resonance call here, hosted by Good of the Whole. And I thought I would just open the call this morning with reading the vision and mission of Good of the Whole. Just felt really important. So our vision is a world where every individual feels valued, connected, and whole. And our mission is to cultivate an ethos of wholeness and nurture our innate capacity to live for good of the whole. And as we're coming on this call, it's really a very unique space where we're cultivating this new emerging worldview. Just breathing that in. And as we're coming together collectively, this call is a little shift from other meetings that we have and hold, where we have large conversations and dialogues. And this is really an opportunity to listen and speak from the field of our innate wholeness and being informed with the new information as we open to what's emerging in the moment and really tracking and following that thread of essence that's being expressed through each of you. So this is a participatory call, and it's also a practice. We come here to practice this experience of aligning with the resonant field. So we have a wonderful opportunity here today. Nahid has beautifully, as one of the Resonance Council members, has offered this beautiful theme here this morning. And we're going to do it slightly differently today. So I'm just going to invite you for a few moments to come deep into your heart, letting go of mass consciousness, anything that's been in dissonance or anything that's in question, and fully drop into your body, feeling that sense of relativity to the energy, the field itself. And this morning we're here really cultivating this deep connection, this sensation of loving presence. So this morning, Nahid's going to open with the reflection, and we're going to do a little exercise together. And then I'll come back and we'll open the field where we all can participate. So we're trying something a little new and excited for that. And welcome to Nahid. Welcome everyone who's just joined us. Welcome, welcome. And I'm going to pass a beautiful virtual talking stick to Nahid. And then I'll just come back if there's anyone who's on that's new to express just these few guidelines that support the container of this space here. So with that, beautiful Nahid, we pass it over to you.
Thank you, my dear. Good morning, everyone. Nahid from Boulder. So allow me to read the reflection for today. Cultivating connection, being the loving presence. In every moment, in every breath, in every sense of self that discovers itself through the eyes, there is a gaze that stares directly into our souls. That gaze is the gaze through which we form and shape our uniqueness, which we form and shape not only the expression of who we are, but also the expression of what the universe wants to be. Armand Bytton. When we enter into an intimate, deep relationship, there is this overwhelming sense of immersion. Boundaries are not quite as rigid. Everything sort of falls into one. There is a sense of being connected to the person. The person seems to be an extension of you. And somehow you are complete and whole in that involvement. That experience is the flowing energy of the nurturing feminine. That experience. So the immersion, the loss of boundaries, the sense of fullness, completeness, and wholeness is the experience of love, because love brings all the pieces together into one whole. Love reawakens us from the fragmentation and opens the flow through the awakened heart. Cultivating this feeling of immersion and connection honors the divine feminine and allows for the experience cultivated within the relationship. Question for us is, how does cultivating deep relationship through this practice of gazing support a greater sense of loving presence and connection? I want to share with you that I was inspired in the conversation the other time when Henry was talking about darshan and the energy transmission. So in the East, one of the practices that is used when we are in the presence of a master, a teacher, is to be in that energetic field and with no words, and just receive and give in that exchange. As we entering this age of Aquarius and feminine rising, well, I thought that would be a good practice to be together, even though we are not physically together, but just through the gazing, through the eyes, create that experience, knowing as the consciousness is raising, there is no guru, a master, and a student. It is more of informal connection. It's kind of more friendship, the realization of the self being experienced through all of us. So, well, I thought maybe that would be something we do together. So I suggest that there is only, I see, a couple of people on the phone. I suggest that each one of us choose someone on the screen of your choice. And we will have a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes, to connect with that person through the gazing of the eyes. Maybe we would choose to put that person, I don't know, because we are not a speaker, and you would not be a speaker mode, but just trusting the flow of energy. We are not going to do anything with that, but just the only thing that we're doing, we are looking into eyes of another and being aware of how we enter into that relationship. The mode of entering is important. Is it of more the masculine, trusting, aggressive, or more of the passive, the spaciousness and the receiving? And noticing that when we intend to connect, there is a spark the spark that triggers a flow of the energy within, and that triggers, there's something else in here. When we start gazing, I would like us to pay attention to the breathing pattern. And in the breathing pattern, follow and observe what is happening within you. In every moment, in this kind of connection, what happens actually between the two individuals, that the energy is moving, and a story is going to be triggers, and we are the narrator of that story, and that's how we cultivate the energy. And what is really being missing is in the patriarchal culture, in this the age that we are living, this connection is being faded and going away because we are not present to cultivate that feeling within the relationship, that which is nurturing the field and nurturing both of us. So choose someone of your choice. I'm going to be quiet, and I will take 5 minutes.
Mihid, I think we need to just to shorten it up about 3 minutes.
Okay, let's do it 3 minutes, my love. Yes. Choose someone and be the observant of what is happening here without doing anything, just observing. And then we share from this space.
So very gently shifting from focusing on one person and allowing your expansion, your gaze to expand if you're on video. And for those who are on the phone, just simply to feel into this beautiful tapestry and circle, this experience that Nahid has offered us. And still, as we're cultivating this connection, today's reflection to be following that thread of this immersive loving presence, and speaking 1 to 2 minutes and allowing this the uprising from that source, that home frequency, to speak as the essence of our inherent wholeness. And with that, honoring the pause in between, and you put the virtual talking stick into the center, and please feel free to go ahead and take hold of it. Thank you, Nahid. Kelsey, sorry, I thought she was talking. She's on the phone. Sorry. I think I'm going to just read into the circle again this beautiful quote. In every moment, in every breath, in every sense of self that discovers itself through the eyes, there's a gaze that stares directly into our souls. That gaze is the gaze through which we form and shape our uniqueness, which we form and shape not only the expression of who we are, but also the expression of what the universe wants to be. And again, just opening that place of cultivating that expression of how the universe wants to speak through you. Complete and whole. Thank you.
Arising within me is this sense of marvel. Communication is so much more than we usually take for granted, as Nahid has beautifully shown us. When I gazed into the first pair of eyes, I felt this incredible surrender to that moment, nothing more, and just sensed what I was sensing and didn't try to claim it or name it or do anything. And I stayed mostly there, but then I was pulled to another set of eyes. And in this encounter, I experienced just the willingness to offer loving goodwill. That was it. And what I think I understand from this is that our innate knowingness will inform us of how to perceive each other from now on after having done this. And so, thank you, Nahid.
This is Julie in Nebraska. I'm just feeling to drop in honoring of Ram Dass, who passed today. This exercise reminded me of be here now. Just be here now. A brief tribute of gratitude and love for Ram Dass. I'm complete.
John, will you mute yourself? I think you have background noise. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is June from California. And my feeling that went on while we were gazing was this progression of bodily changes as I continue to look into the eyes of someone. And it was as if I could feel my body beginning to let go, relax, open, as if the pores were open. There was no barrier between my body, not only and of that person, but just of the environment around me. And the more I just stayed in that space, it's as if I could, again, feel the cells opening larger, the breath feeling fuller. And then I noticed that my heart began to feel larger. And my breath slowed, but at the same time got bigger. And so it was a very physical feeling of joining and being joined, because my whole body opened to accept and open to give. And so it was a real experience of becoming one with, and it was a wonderful feeling. And thank you, Nahid. And it just feels as though I am in more touch with everyone in the circle at this point in time.
Good morning, everyone. This is Karen in Costa Rica. Before the heat even spoke, as the call started, my heart started feeling huge and pounding. And then during the exercise, as I would stare, I realized I was as if I didn't need to breathe. All of a sudden, I'd realize I should breathe. And I didn't need to blink, but I'd realize I really should blink. And then eventually, stare up into that person's eyes, became blurred into nothingness, because it's all, it just all blends together. So thank you. That was really wonderful experience. And I realize now my heart has calmed down since we've stopped. It's still beating, but it doesn't feel like it's going to beat out of my body. And I'm grateful for being here in the presence of all of you. Thank you.
This is Shelley, and what I'm present to is this, like this contiguous experience of movement, of creativity, of this weaving of the silent space, the space of opening and awareness, that sense of immersion. It feels like from that place of the experience that I was having to this moment, and in being with all of you, it feels like what I'm experiencing is the sense of really soft pleasure. I don't know how to, like this, that longing for connection in the ways that I might have done it in the past is innately right here. There's no sense of separation. There's just a sense of the filling of the space, the sound of your voice, and expanding that, even, looking out this window, the movement of the trees, it's all the same. And I feel like that the invitation from this reflection is to allow that sensitivity, that the body to soften, so that the awareness, the consciousness can fill even more of the space, this intelligent field. I feel like there's a sense of recognition, not just from looking at someone's eyes or into someone's eyes, but there's a recognition of the wholeness of the self, the larger self. So thank you, and I'm complete.
Again, the gaze is the focus. The gaze is from where we are looking. And energetically, the gaze embodies us there. And that's the connection in the perceived other, our wholeness, our unity, our oneness. It's an energetic, it's a vibration. And that is where our attention is given, in that gaze, and our conscious co-creating. We are receivers and transmitters of love. I'm complete.
Morning, everybody. This is Tammy. I feel since the winter solstice, just the veil is very thin. I'm feeling a really deep connection, a lot of messages coming through. I've had the opportunity to do this gazing exercise in person in a women's circle. It's very powerful. And I feel like this is one of the experiential learning tools like Kokori uses. For anyone to look into their eyes, it's such an intimate experience that you feel that warmth in your heart, and that has to be spirit. That can be nothing else but the infinite. And what would it feel like to remember that the infinite creator is gazing at each of us every moment into our eyes and loving us unconditionally as we are perfectly imperfect, always watching us, always gazing on us like we just did. So with that, I am complete.
And I wonder, as I hear, how would it feel like from the oneness, from the self perspective, from the intention that is looking through, that there is no one else. That infinite, creative intelligence, it is perceiving its own creation, recognizing the manifestation of that which is unseen in the form in front of me on the screen. Intention, attention, no separation.
I did sense we. Yes, I very definitely sensed we, but not as personality, simply as two halves of a whole.
This is Julie. I had an experience on Friday night of gazing and discovered a peculiar multisensory gazing. That the gazing is from the soul, when love is present. And so the multisensory part was that I discovered for me to gaze into someone's eyes is the same as to gaze at beauty in the world, to gaze at nature, to gaze at a beautiful piece of artwork, and to gaze at beautiful music. I discovered Friday night that I was gazing at a concert. I was in that state as a transceiver. I just mentioned the receiving and the transmitting. As a transceiver, I was gazing at beautiful music, and I was drunk in it. I was totally intoxicated with it. And that gaze is that space of whether it be a good conversation or a loved one or my incredibly amazing granddaughter that I can't stop gazing at, even when she's naughty, or one of those new babies that you just gaze. I was gazing this morning at my dog who really didn't want to go to the groomer, and I could tell because we communicate telepathically, and she went to hide, knowing I was preparing to take her. And so I went in the other room and I found her hiding, and I sat there just gazing with her. And she gazed back with a little shiver. So the gaze is not just visual, even though I'm a very visual person, and I love that experience of vision. And I'm a seer. So the visual part is really important, but I'm sensing that this is indeed multisensory. And as that veil is lifted and very thin, I don't know about anyone else, but it's almost as if it's this instantaneous, multidimensional communication that is a part of that gaze now. It's just so magnificent. So thanks for the experience of this gazing, and thanks for that broadening of that experience that I had Friday, that it is a multi-dimensional, multi-sensory experience of presencing. I'm complete.
Good morning from not so sunny Southern California. This is Nancy. And I have been off the video the whole time because this morning I woke up and wanted to be part of you, but I guess I didn't feel like being gazed at. I'm not sure. So it's been weird this morning. I'm in a funny state where I did not want to show my face. I did not want to be fully present. That's just where I'm at. I just didn't want to be fully present, and I participated and I've been tuned in. And then I just came up to my little hideaway art shed, see if the environment could help me. And finally I just said, well, I'll just show my face and be with you. And I can see it's already helped. All right. Loving you all. I am complete.
Well, hi, this is John in Boulder. Nancy, I got to follow up with that. What a bizarre thing. The morning we're doing gazing into eyes, my technological dysfunction is showed its head. But anyway, it was a very interesting experience for me, gazing into everyone's eyes and realizing, as many of you said, and we've all had this gazing experience, is that it's not really part of the five senses. It's not a visual thing at all. once in the depth of the gazing, it transcends our, I'll speak for myself, my earthly grounding in my five senses, my sense of visual sight, and it is a direct communication with the resonant field. And as many of you said, it can happen in numerous ways, no matter what we're gazing at. For me, that gaze is an exquisite sense of wholeness and communion that opens my heart and erases my thoughts and my beliefs and my judgments, and allows the me that's grounded in those five senses to disintegrate long enough to immerse myself in the good of the whole, and the love expands, and so it's an incredible experience to do that. Nahid, thanks for bringing that to us. And yeah, isn't it strange that the one morning we're gazing, I can't get my computer to work, but be that as it may, my heart is open, and I love all of you, and I love the space that we enter when we open to gaze at each other. Thank you very much. I'm complete.
This is Dinah. It seems that the energetic of wholeness is being lived into life through us as one. And this is our dynamics of co-creation. That's it.
This is Henry in Colorado. So there's a bit of a haze outside here where I am as we are gazing. And I must admit that at the beginning, Cassandra expressed without naming or claiming that I was doing a lot of naming and I don't know about claiming, but because of my interest and fascination of our senses. And I guess something returned here as well, that with our presence here, which kind of so beautiful, well, not beautiful of Ram Dass's passing, but of his presence for so many years. I saw him in person in 1971 or 72, and just experiencing his presence and what he shared And I think there was about 300 people there at Amherst College for the program that was 2 to 3 hours. And then he gave a hug to to everyone who wished to connect there. He just continued and stayed. Just the amazing presence of being here now, that our heart resonance circles are kind of dwell in that place. And so the thought that came, I think it was in a conversation with Nahid a while back that I had, of that we do heart gazing here. That it's kind of like through the eyes of the heart, as Julie expressed about a connection with the eyes of her dog, as well as the presence of the grandchild. That we gaze with our heart, with the eyes of our heart, on life. And so in some ways, maybe that is a combining of many of our senses. It's a multi-sensory experience. So just opening, I love new ways of seeing that help to open doorways to deeper connection. So that's where I am, what I am present with now. So anyway, so it feels a little bit like sitting by the hearth, or by sitting around the fire, which is a good image for this time of year. And I guess even of the holiday season of coming together, and the inner fire. And actually seeing is connected with the fire element, with light. So I feel complete.
My mic on. Hi, everyone. Donald Pett speaking, and it's nice to see familiar faces. Say hello to everyone. Eye gazing is nice. I'm more of a hugger myself, so I offer a hug to everyone here, and that's another modality as well that I think is meaningful. So lots of love, and thank you for sharing. I personally think meetings and groups like this is the way we'll make some progress in making our world a happier, safer home that we all want for our loved ones. So thank you.
And this is Oriana, and I had a prior meeting, so I missed out on the gazing. So I will accept your hug, Dawn. Love you lots, and appreciate the hug. I also had dental surgery, so I'm struggling with the pain here. And just really feeling the appreciation of just the gentle spirit that is here. And feeling this solstice time of a great shift that occurred, that I could really feel that sense of, no matter how dark, no, the light. The light is, we're coming into that greater light, the great celestial being presence. So, thank you all.
This is Shelley, and this is a beautiful time for those people that haven't shared to have an opportunity. So while the rest of us deepen into this immersive field of loving presence and connection. So anyone who hasn't shared, please feel free to unmute yourself. And if you're on the phone, don't forget to unmute your phone. We'll just breathe deeper into this space. I guess everyone's spoken that has wanted to. And I'll just want to share a couple things. One is what's coming to me is having this remembrance of Brazzo. I don't know how many of you have experienced Brazzo, who travels around the world, and all he does is gazing. And he gazes out into the crowd, and people are magnificently and miraculously healed of whatever is going on with them. And I was just listening to and feeling into this multisensory experience that's been brought to us this morning, and just really getting that sensation of this is the healing space. When we're open to, it's the both and, when we're open to receiving someone's gaze, to be able to relax our body and allow that sense of presence and love to enter in, it's immediately so healing. It's like the light can come through, the cells are, regenerated. And in the same way, just to be that one that offers pure love, like not trying to fix anyone or trying to do anything other than just be present. And I feel like that is the gift that we're being given, and the gift that we can take forward into our day and into our week. Really beautiful. So feel really grateful for this opportunity here this morning. And I also want to just drop into this oceanic field here while we're still here, just before we close with a beautiful rippling, that the 7 days of rest is coming up, January 1st through the 7th. And if you don't know anything about it, you can go to the 7daysofrest.org, and it's been an annual experience that Good of the Whole has participated in. And in terms of just taking this experience and really relishing in this whole system experience, this resonant field with others, and beginning the new year in rest. And this year the focus is radiant diversity. And what is radiant diversity but this experience that we're having right here, this uplifting, linking to each other in a way that just brings that high vibration, this home frequency out into our families, communities. And so just want to invite you all. And there's so many of us that are participating with Good of the Whole this year. And you'll be able to see that on their calendar. We'll be letting you know more about that. But just wanted to seed the field with that. So with that, everyone can take yourselves off mute. And with so much gratitude and love for this gift of this reflection today, ripple this out through our gaze out into the earth. Mama Gaia, she needs us. Send this gaze out to the fires, to the flooding, wherever it's needed to go, to the hearts of the many. So with that, we can just unmute ourselves and share this rippling of yum and this love. Yum.
Yum.
Yum, yum, yum.
Shalom.
Happy holiday.
Happy Hanukkah.